Good evening. Do you need something?
What's the next task then, Kreyzl?
From behind the closed gates of Trotsky come quiet whispers, carried by the wind, all the way here to me in the mill. Do you hear it too?
No. Reckon my ears aren't that good.
Scribe Erazim received a trunk from Prague, and in that trunk was...
The document of Hermes Trismegistos?
No, a book. And from an author more venerable than Hermes. It's thin, with a sand-colored cover, embossed. Ordinary at first glance, but the treasure's inside. You might say it's kind of an alchemical cookbook.
So I'm gonna have to pick some locks again, eh? And in the castle, no less. I'd like to know how I'm supposed to get in there. Trotsky is shut tight.
For some. The gates of Trotsky may appear to be closed to us, mere mortals. But why try to force your way in when there's a person they'll invite in themselves?
What person?
Hold on, we'll get to that. We've got the Samine wedding coming up. I can't wait to try out my new potion against drunkenness there. What about you? You still need to get there?
Certainly. It's why I decided to work for you. Or have you forgotten? I hope your promise still stands.
Of course it does. What do you take me for? Start by quickly finding some decent clothes. Ad charisma tuendum. You look like a vagabond in what you're wearing now. St. Paul wouldn't be pleased with you.
So you'll really get me into that wedding? Am I dreaming?
No, you're not. But before you start celebrating, we won't be going by ourselves. We'll have company. Or, to be more exact, the two of us will be accompanying a certain person. Me as a friend and host, and you as a bodyguard, loyal servant. Call it what you will.
It'll be some female, right?
Correct. But not just any female. A true lady will come to the wedding with us. Radiant as the morning star, refined as pure gold. All will be stunned by her beauty. And she'll be our lockpick that will find the weak spot in the gate to Trotsky. All it'll take is a little push. And clunk. The lock will open, and the book will be mine.
What weak spot?
The castle's weak spot is Chamberlain Ulrich, because he himself has a weakness for women. Of all the single damsels at the wedding, ours will be the most charming and irresistible for him. Noble or not, he's a mortal man, and he'll start to think with his male member. We will watch as he becomes feverish. Soon, he'll be begging to take our companion to Trotsky. He'll pretend as much, and when the Chamberlain becomes insistent, you, as her personal bodyguard, naturally, he'll say you won't leave her side so you can defend her honor. Once in Trotsky, Ulrich will do everything to get you to leave him alone.
I can hardly believe that you, of all people, would come up with such a strange...
Well, it's not all. I admit there's a certain element here that makes everything more First, we have...
Ah. And I'm gonna look for one, right?
Who else? Look, she doesn't have to be a lady per se. We just need we'll get her a nice dress, some perfume. She doesn't even have...
Could Bonnie do it?
She could. The only hitch is everyone and his dog knows her face. Nobody with any sense would let her into this...
Where should I look?
You can find lots of capable girls at the Zhelejov baths, including some who aren't so well known. It's true, Dorothy can be a bit unpleasant.
Well, the last time I dealt with her getting your disguise washed, she was quite delightful.
You'll tell her I'm offering enough groschen to buy 2 cows, or small...
All right.
You're a talented, likable youngster, like Knight Roland of yore. I have complete... And don't forget, we're going to need to dress the girl up and make her smell nice. So, stop off at Troskowitz as well and get her a nice brocade dress. Mintha.
Where can I find the...
Where do you think? The butcher? Bartoshek has just the thing in his shop. A beautiful.
Why that dress?
Because red is the color of love and Ulrich won't. The dress is likely to be pretty.
Where can I find the perfume?
Emmerich the apothecary might have, or ask Betty the innkeeper. Or get hold of the recipe and make your own Mintha. As an alchemy apprentice, you should.
I'll be going there.
Once you've got everything ready for the wedding, we'll meet there. I'll let our lady in on some other. Anyway, you'll be rehearsing your speech to Lord von Berghoff then, won't you?
You're up bright and early today. What would you like?
Kreyzl has an offer for you.
That old goat always sends you whenever he needs something. What does he want this time?
He's looking for a pretty...
That's nothing. I've got plenty of them. What does he want her for?
No. He needs her to pose as a...
A lady?
Something like that.
Well, I don't know if any of my girls could pull it off. They can't even eat like a noble.
That won't be a problem.
Why does he need one?
Aye. More or less.
What do you mean, more or less? Does he want her for himself or not?
Aye. For himself.
So she's supposed to go to the mill? Doesn't he have a woman there? Has the old pig got no share?
She's supposed to go to the wedding and pretend to be a lady.
A lady? You mean...
Something like that.
Well, I don't know if any...
That won't be a problem.
That's all right.
He says he can offer enough groschen for you to buy 2 cows.
It's quite...
Isn't it?
But something... Out with it, lad. Who does Kreyzl really want...
For the Chamberlain.
For Ulrich? You know what? I'm tired of this. Let's go and see what the... They'll tell you about what they've been through with the mask. Girls? Right, girls. We have a messenger here from... Tell us what you wanted to...
Well...
He's looking for a girl for the semi...
God, anything but that. Dorothy, I actually have a lot of work to do, and...
Well? Anna.
What should I say?
What should she say?
Tell me, why don't you want anything to do with the Chamberlain?
Well, the Lord Chamberlain invited me to Trotsky, and that it would be different. So I asked him if I should take a different soap. Or does the Master Chamberlain... Or if his bed is hard and my back will hurt.
If only.
But they said I'd have to do things that...
Things they haven't even thought of in hell.
I thought the Master Chamberlain might be of a different religion, and that fucking a Christian girl would be a sin. But he believes in the same God as the...
Which makes it all the worse.
Then I thought maybe he was cruel to the girls. But I hear that's not the case. It's not what he wants to do to us that's against God.
But what he wants us to do to him.
I thought he had leprosy.
Tell the girls how much Kreyzl is offering.
Enough that you'll be able to buy a small cottage.
Or 2 cows. Not bad, eh? Well?
Not even for a golden goose.
I'd rather be celibate.
I thought he had leprosy.
Aye, but it's a tidy sum.
Dorothy, I swear that
I'm not going anywhere.
Dorothy, I'll scrub all the tubs here for the rest of my... All of them!
I'll do that too, and I'll even take care...
Girls, come now.
I'll go then. If I can handle it a second time, it'll be a miracle.
No, Dorothy, please don't make her...
Dorothy, for the love of God.
Calm down, girls. Don't worry. I just wanted to show Kreyzl's lackey here what you've been keeping from me for...
Christ almighty.
God in heaven.
Oh, I feel filthy just thinking about it.
So, in case you didn't get the no girl from Zhelejov is going with the...
All right.
Do what you like. We've said our piece. Go and find some... A harlot like that came here recently, asking for work. She was...
Aye, I remember her. Nose in the air, talking...
She introduced herself as Enneleyn of Winterthur, like she was some no...
I didn't trust her for a moment. She was pretty... I wanted to give her a chance, but she asked for so much coin. I thought try asking after her in the camp. Maybe she's got a strong...
Poor thing.
Well,
Greetings.
God be with...
Hail. Katarso. What's up, Pooch?
I hear there's an Enneleyn living here with you.
Take care, friend. I'm sorry. Sarjivas Goro, Sorodes.
I hear there's an Enneleyn...
Enneleyn is a city girl. Used to pressure. They are... If you don't find her at our forest...
A bit longer without food, and I'll really start to be grumpy.
God be with you. What would you like?
Are you Mistress Enneleyn of Winterthur?
Winterthur, Lyon, Vienna. It doesn't matter. What do you want?
I'm Henry. I was sent by Miller Kreyzl. We have a job offer for you.
How did you find out about me?
At the Zhelejov baths. They said you asked about a job there.
I realized straight away it was a bad idea. What a pit. That cow who runs the place almost fainted when I talked about coin. If she had any idea my real value is 10 times higher. But be that as it may, what's the job?
To go to the Semine wedding with us. As a companion.
A wedding, you say? The last time I was at a wedding was in Nevers, France. I had to sing there. I'd like to avoid that this time.
You don't have to sing. Or even say much. All you have to do is behave like a lady.
Behave like a lady? Do you mind? I am one. Or hadn't you noticed?
Sorry. I didn't mean it like that.
All right, then. How much?
How much?
How much? Coin, geld, soldi, dinero, mel, grosze. Understand?
Kreyzl's offering enough to buy a little cottage.
A cottage? I was offered an estate for my services in Antwerp, and a 30-foot gondola in Venice. Although this is only Trotsky after all, I can't expect too much in this backwater. All right then, I'll do it. But first, tell me this. What can I expect at this Semine?
You'll be treated to the finest food there. Meat, cakes, maybe even fish.
Lovely. And what else?
Now that Trotsky is closed, there's no more prominent stronghold in the region than Semine Fortress. Someone will surely give you a tour and show you the magnificently decorated chambers.
Tempting, tempting. And what else?
I even hear Lord Otto von Berghoff will be there, the Lord of Trotsky. Someone will surely introduce you to him. Well, and wherever von Berghoff goes, he's followed by the second most important man in the domain, the Chamberlain of Trotsky, Sir Ulrich von Schaumburg.
The Chamberlain, as in the castle caretaker. I'm not interested in some little clerk.
You should be. He's the one Kreyzl wants you to pay attention to at the wedding.
Pay attention? How?
Well, you simply have to seduce him.
I beg your pardon? Do you take me for some cheap whore? A harem girl? A brothel wench? A bathhouse hussy?
I'm sorry, but
Silence! I am Enneleyn, a companion, a courtesan. I am courted by gentlemen vying for my favor. I have been a concubine in Krakow, a mistress in Venice, and a gentleman's companion in Basel. My name is known in Brandenburg. I have fulfilled the wildest wishes of the most until he stopped paying. The ginger bar. I'll do my work the way...
all right.
I should hope so. So, to the point.
Kreyzl will tell you himself.
You men and your seek, but why not? I expect it won't be anything too complicated. And the...
Not so fast.
Why do you think that?
It doesn't matter.
It most certainly does matter. If I'm going to do a good job.
Just so you know, Kreyzl originally wanted to, but the girls said they didn't want anything to do with him because I asked them what's behind it, and, well, some wanted to vomit after meeting him. Others said they started considering the
Poor girl. Here in the arse end of the world, girls are no doubt used to just lying on their backs and...
Well, it seems it's not about what Chamberlain Schaumburg did to them, but what he wanted them to do to him.
I knew a Schaumburg from Nuremberg, a respected person, a member of the... It can catch you off guard, because you don't know what you're getting into. Maybe it's also the case with the local bathwench, but I don't want to make fun of the girls. Not everyone wants to try. I must say, I'm quite curious.
We're agreed, then?
Certainly. And just in case, there's this potion I carry around. A couple of drops and the... Except I've run out of wine.
I can find some wine.
I'd manage somehow, but I won't complain if you see to... There's one more thing, though. I don't think anyone will believe I'm a lady in these old...
Don't worry about that. Kreyzl told me to get hold of a dress and some...
What dress?
A red one.
Brocade. I like it. Kreyzl clearly knows... Are you going to the wedding?
As your bodyguard.
Well, don't think you're going in what you're wearing now. You'd look like a beggar I brought along out of pity. Sort it out. And as for that perfume, it ought to be one that lasts...
Kreyzl suggested Mintha.
I'll take his word for it. Hurry up, then. We don't want to keep the Chamberlain...
Kifeli! You look to me a lot like the one... God grant your health.
Pleasure doing business. Take care.
What's up, Jungoshina?
Tetumenga, you look just like that gajo that Aranka was talking about. Go and see the voivod.
About the things...
Yes.
I brought you some wine.
Oh, you remembered. Thank you.
A trifle. That's all for now.
Was möchtest du, mein Freund?
I heard you mix fine perfumes. I'm looking for Mintha, but I don't see any in your shop.
Don't you know about the same? Once innkeeper Betty got an invitation. She bought up all my supplies. You'll have to brew up your...
I'll have a look at the... Word about the price. Satisfied?
Well... Hey, you convinced me with that price. Pleasure doing business. Take care. Was wünscht...
I'll have a...
Take care then.
I didn't add enough dandelion.
Greetings, my friend.
I'd like a set of...
You've come to the right place, and when you change into it, I'll tell you right away if it's appropriate. I know what I'm talking about. I'm invited too.
What do you have for sale? I'd like to discuss the price.
Sure.
Is this enough?
Look, offer a... Finally. I hope you'll be satisfied. Take care.
Teaves bacalhau.
Kreyzl, pardon me.
What's up, Pooch?
Good evening. Do you need something?
About the...
Yes.
I have a dress for you.
My, oh my. That is very pretty. Fine handiwork. We're not in a city, let alone Innsbruck.
I have some perfume for you.
My God! It smells just like the yellow headband I wore. It brings back memories. Thanks.
I've brought you everything you asked for. Are you ready to leave for Semi?
I am. Once you're ready, just say the word.
Aranka described somebody just like him. Go and see the voivod.
Keep the peace and we'll stay friends.
God be with you. How's the watch going?
Not bad. So far.
Greetings. What brings you here so early?
What do you think? Can I wear this to the wedding?
No, absolutely not. You can't go to the wedding like that. Pick something better.
What do you have for sale? I'd like to do something about that price.
All right.
How's this?
Look. Very well. I hope you'll be satisfied. Take care. How can I...
Do I look good now? I don't want to embarrass myself at the wedding.
Magnificent. I couldn't have picked... I think you're ready to dazzle them all.
God bless.
Can we go to Samin?
I see you're already dolled up. And you don't look bad at all. Looking like that, you'll be fending girls off with a stick.
Good to hear. Should we go?
Hold on a while. I'll get washed and dressed, then we can go.
Welcome, Miller. Who are your companions?
Who do you think? More guests.
Kreyzl, my friend. So you've arrived. And you're bringing company?
Sir, allow me to introduce Miss Kvyetta from Kolin. She's an acquaintance of mine. That is, I knew her parents. They were burghers.
I was passing by, and Miller Kreyzl was kind enough to ask me to accompany him. I hope you don't mind.
Not at all. I wouldn't turn away a visitor from so far away.
Lord Samin, why didn't you tell me you were expecting a lovely lady?
I'm just as surprised as you are. This is Goodwife Kvyetta.
Miss Kvyetta, from Colleen. It's an honor, Master Chamberlain.
And what brings you here, Henry?
I'm escorting Miss Kvyetta here.
I asked Henry to chaperone Miss Kvyetta. She doesn't know anyone here, so I didn't want to leave her alone.
The services of your lad will not be required. I'll be happy to take care of Miss Kvyetta. Of course, only if she wants to.
It would be an honor, Master Chamberlain.
You can leave, boy.
But, Master Chamberlain, you wouldn't just send Henry off, would you?
There's plenty of food and drink, and my door is always open for Henry.
Thank you. What about Lord von Berghoff? Has he arrived yet? I'd love to meet him.
The Royal Chamberlain is certainly not interested in the likes of you, boy.
Well, he hasn't arrived yet, anyway.
I'm sure he'll come. You don't have to worry, sir.
I hope so. We can't hold off the ceremony until evening.
Oh, plenty of daylight left. At least you can get rid of those flea-ridden beggars by the gate in the meantime.
What? They're back? Tuma! Didn't I tell you to chase them away?
I drove them off, but they came back.
Close the gate so the guests don't see them. They must be gone by the time Lord von Berghoff arrives.
Oh dear, oh dear. Why so angry, sir? You seem a little jumpy. Surely not because of Sir Otto.
Of course it's because of him. What if it all ends up in disgrace? What if he turns up at the gate and leaves? I know he's capable of that.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Thanks, but I can't ask that of you. What kind of host would that make me?
If the boy offers voluntarily, you shouldn't turn him down. If he proves himself, perhaps we can introduce him to Lord von Berghoff as a reward, if that's what he wants.
I promise I won't bring shame on you.
We'll see. I've got to make some arrangements with the cook, but come and see me later. In the meantime, you can introduce yourself to the bailiff's son, Svatopluk, over there. You're the same age, so I think you'll get...
See now, Henry? I'm sure he could point you out some pretty lasses.
There's plenty of other entertainment, too. Bailiff Thrush is holding a dice tournament. And Captain, in short, a proper wedding. Eat and drink to your heart's content. Rejoice! It's a big day for Samin.
One more thing, sir.
What else? Did I forget something?
They're, weapons.
Yes, of course. Please leave your weapons with Tuma. You surely understand it's for security.
I'm always glad to see polite people like you. God be with you.
I heard some interesting books from Prague have arrived at the castle. There's one I'd like to borrow. An alchemist's cookbook, a sand-coloured...
Yes, several rare and astonishing books have arrived from Prague. But why are you interested in an alchemist's cookbook, of all things?
I've heard there are some interesting... Every alchemist is in dogged pursuit of wisdom, especially those from Prague.
Perhaps you know more about that book than I do. Well, I'll have to disappoint you. Lord, and the one you're looking for, he left with it before I could even discover. All I remember is the author's initial. I'm fairly benevolent when it comes to lending books, but he's had it borrowed for an excessive amount of time now. I'd like to ask him to return.
I'll have a talk with Nikvard and find out what the problem is.
You think I haven't tried? But since you've already offered to address this pressing situation, listen, it seems Nikvard lost the book. I've warned him repeatedly not to carry borrowed books around with him, but to leave them in his chamber and read them there. But Nikvard is old and stubborn, and this is how things turn out.
It's still just a book. Paper and leather.
You say that? To a scribe?
I thought there were more precious things. Like a human life.
We could have a long discussion comparing the value of a Takovite peasant's life with, say, a treatise on physics by Hildegard von Bingen. But I digress. As I said, Nikvard is intentional. I've managed to find 3 people who've spoken to him recently. Bertha, the cook, Regina, the maid.
I reckon those aren't the only 3 people that know him.
I'm surprised that he's ever Nikvard is a loner. Which is also now that he's decided to leave his shell. But I'm afraid that's all I've managed to find out. Since Lord von
I'll help you. I'll ask all...
Many thanks. If you aren't sure what to do, stop by and we'll discuss...
I won't keep you any longer.
Greetings. Do you need some...
I'm looking for Nikvard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Well, I brewed him another phial of medicine. I told him to stop by for another one soon.
Did he say where he was headed?
I can't say. I promised Lord Lebak his secret.
Oh, come now. Nikvard misplaced an important... I need to find it.
I remember the recipes by heart. And Lord...
Listen, Bertha. I'm glad that you're such a reliable woman. Sometimes one has to lower their standards. You never know when a secret you're keeping. If you tell me what ails Nikvard, and don't tell me it isn't just a little exciting to divulge.
Never. The guilt would eat me up.
Well, if a nobleman's secret is worth so much, how about this?
I suppose Lord Lebak wouldn't mind.
Of course.
So many groschen. I promise I'll split it with Lord Lebak when...
But now tell me.
Well, it's a common potion for a bellyache. Just better tasting. It helps your meals go down easier, and in that regard, Lord Lebak had, well, everything came out much...
Just say it.
It was in the privy down below the crone. By the train, I helped him clean his hose and made him the medicine. And I promise, Lord Lebak is quite particular about the impression he makes on the young maids, you know. That's why he didn't use the privy near the maids' quarters, though it's closer to his chamber this time.
Is that all?
What else is there to say? That the entire... It happens to the best of us. And I told him as much, I must say. He did...
I don't know if this is going to do me any good.
Well, you could have found a worse clue.
Thanks anyway.
I apologize.
Stuck in the wheel on Sunday. Some vagabond.
God rest his soul.
God be with you. Good evening to you.
Do you know where I can find Nikvard?
Erazim is suddenly interested in Nikvard and me. You don't, but when I need him to read something for me, I'm sorry.
I was asking about...
Aye, I heard you.
I can.
In that case, would you mind...
Show me. Dear Mistress of the Chambers. What is it?
Oh, what I wouldn't give to get messages from someone else. Say, Lord Capon. Never mind. Read on. Though I reckon it interests you more than me.
Persevere. We shall soon escape the dungeon of those two women. Cursed fate, however, has placed an obstacle in my way. The heat of the Lightbringer's potion is working, and I can feel my insides being reborn. But when the last remnants of old age left my body, something else was washed away with them.
How much longer is it?
Not much. My damn clumsiness has sent all of the Lightbringer's secrets into the void, but fear not, I shall get them back. May this be the first task on the road to your liberation. That's it.
Beautiful.
True enough. Nikvard has a flair for the dramatic.
My, that's Liebach for you.
But what does it mean?
Lord Liebach, I suggested to him it wasn't proper for a noble to have an affair with a maid. But then he found what he calls the Lightbringer's potion book. He said it would light a flame in him that would... So, I suppose...
I know the book he's talking about, but what...
Look, can we stop talking about this? I feel a little uncomfortable here, talking about...
I understand. Just one more thing, please. When was the...
The last time was in the Knight's Hall. But that was a long... I found that message a few days ago.
Thanks anyway.
Greetings. What brings you here so early in the morning?
I'm looking for Nikvard. The Scribe told me you might know something about him.
Hey, Nick. I mean, Lord Liebach. I almost forgot about him. I suppose his task wasn't so pressing,
What do you mean, forgot?
Nick Liebach, that is, entrusted me with a big task. He's a castle lord, but then I heard what another castle lord was planning, von Berghoff. He says there's a war on. So
I need to know more about what Nikvard...
No. There are new rules now.
I understand, sure.
A sword.
Sword? What sword?
A long and very good one to help me. If you bring it to me, I'll know you're not a forge one, buy one, maybe from one of the guards at the training ground or down by the gate. During the day. Once I get a sword...
I'll think of a way...
Good. What are you doing with that weapon? Slide it back under your belt.
Lord be with you. Without anyone noticing.
Exactly. And that's not all. The dead man had a gold chain around his neck. Can you believe it? Someone bumped him off and didn't even rob him.
That is strange. I reckon something devilish was involved. I'm always glad to see polite people like you. God.
About Nikvard.
Got that sword.
You wanted us.
That's perfect. I don't think you're a spy.
What about Nikvard?
Nikvard asked me to do something for him. He must have admired my devotion. Either way, Nick looked troubled and not very healthy. He wanted me to fetch him something he lost, and I told him I would. At least I could check to see if anyone was sneaking. But then Nikvard clutched his belly and ran off. So I never...
That's all?
Aye. If you run into Nikvard, ask him if he still needs it or whether he found... I'll be going into war soon.
I'll tell him. About that lost...
Please tell me.
Not yet. But
Tell me what you've learned.
It looks like Nikvard brewed some sort... He told Regina it would restore his youth. But the potion... He must have spent a lot of time on the privy at the training grounds below the Crone. Bertha brewed it when he wasn't shitting or writing notes to servants. He asked Hirsch to bring him something from... And then he vanished.
What do you think about...
You said that Nikvard had a habit of carrying books everywhere with him. It's possible it fell down the latrine while he was shitting by the training ground. And now it's lying somewhere on the cliffs.
That actually sounds quite likely to me. Let's pray. Go there and look. Perhaps you'll find...
Oh, God. You must be Nikvard, eh? Poor wretch. How many more times am I gonna have to poke around in corpses and shit for that damn Kreyzl?
You're not...
I came to tell you I managed to find Nikvard.
Where did that madman wander off to this time?
He's dead. Poisoned, exhausted.
My God! Did you report it to the Chamberlain?
Not yet.
Once I get over it, I'll go to him. But if you were faster, I'd be grateful. What about that book?
About that...
You know what? I couldn't care less that cursed tome. I'll actually be glad if I never get my hands on it. Forgive me. That's it.
God bless.
Does the name Nikvard
Yes, but I haven't seen him for...
Nikvard is lying dead outside Trotsky Castle wall. He apparently overestimated his strength while,
Are you serious?
You silly doggy.
Greetings, my friend.
I have the book for you.
Well, I must admit, I haven't had an apprentice this handy in a long time. Zinnik has nothing on you.
I had a peek inside. The pictures are nice, but what do you want to learn from them?
You'll find out soon enough. Show me that miraculous thing. This really is something. But why is it all covered in shit, for fuck's sake?
Let's just say the Scribe didn't have it. It actually wasn't even in the castle. Under it, really.
Oh, refining saltpeter. Ah, of course, it makes sense. I'll study the rest on the way. Well, the last chapter of our story of knowledge awaits us. The grand finale.
So what now? Do you have another job for me?
Charcoal. Sulfur from Hermes Trismegistos. Saltpeter from the carcass pit. As long as Black Bertolt didn't make any mistakes in his calculations, we have everything.
What Bertolt? Oh, God damn it, Kreyzl, what's going on here? I'm tired of flying back and forth like a rag on a stick. I won't be led around by the nose. Will you finally tell me what's going on?
Believe it or not, all this secrecy had its reasons. But now I don't have to hide anything from you. It's time. We'll meet with the others in the Lair, and there you'll learn the whole truth. You go ahead. I'm going to get a few things ready here.
All right, then. I hope you keep your word this time. What'll happen now?
Our last supper, with only one but very filling course, awaits us.
Kreyzl, please. For once, just once, tell me what's actually going on.
And rob myself of enjoying your blissful ignorance? Not a chance. Tell me yourself, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, hopefully I'll finally find out what the point of all this was.
Or not, until you try another dose of niter.
I wouldn't do that to him. Not today. Bonnie will start today. At least I'll finally see if she understood my teachings. Bonnie?
First of all, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the whole gang for all the work you've done. We could never have finished the job without you. We found 2 new partners, you and Monarch here. It's good to have someone to rely on. So, it's time we started being honest with you, so you can finally learn the whole truth.
Not yet. Let's pull up that uppity bastard's leg a bit longer. That's the fun part.
Never mind him. Speak.
All right, then. This whole time, you've been collecting ingredients and clues for us. But, so you wouldn't go nosing around, we always told you it was for something different than it actually was.
The miller here calls it tactics.
Tactics, you idiot. And everything worked out according to plan. So today we're finally close to our great success. With the help of Hermes Trismegistos and his successors, we'll finally complete the dream of all alchemists. Our magnum opus.
Exactly, Barney.
Magnum opus. A great work of alchemy. You're trying to make the Philosopher's Stone.
I see you've learned something after all. But no, the Philosopher's Stone isn't our goal.
Let's see then, Henry.
You're trying to find a cure for death? An elixir of immortality?
Well, Henry's not too far from the truth after all, don't you think? Immortality is the goal of every scholar. At least the spiritual kind. Let's start at the beginning. My father was a miller as well, but I was never much interested in the trade. Even as a young boy, I loved running around Lower Samine and investigating everything living and dead. And I had a lot of questions about everything. Then my mother, God rest her soul, decided it'd be best for me to go to study in Prague. As soon as I grew up and gained a bit of sense, I packed my bags and left.
You must have had a real good mother for her to support you like that.
I'd say she didn't have much of a choice. My father was always busy, so she was the one who had to listen to all my questions. I met a lot of remarkable people at the university, and my thirst for knowledge kept growing. But in the end, it only took a year of all that pretentious, scholarly blathering and hypocritical nonsense for me to realize I wouldn't learn anything proper there. Most of the students and masters are just a bunch of dogmatic fools. They have their own truth, and those who want to know more or ask the wrong questions fall into disfavor, as was my case.
And what about your thirst for knowledge?
I realized I didn't need the university for things that are truly important. The most important science is not subject to any religious dogma. And, of course, it's not taught at any university.
You mean alchemy?
Exactly. The art of combination and dissolution. The key to understanding the very nature of the world. There's only one queen of science. Alchemy. I returned to the mill in Lower Samine and started a new life.
So you became a miller?
In the end, I did. As you can see, from then on, alchemy became my true passion. I brought a few important books from Prague. I started with the most difficult thing. I tried to create gold.
That was pretty daring of you.
As you might expect, it didn't work. But after a few tries, I managed to create something entirely different. Once I tried mixing sulfur, charcoal, and saltpeter. I had a candle burning next to me. A gust of wind scattered the mixture. I almost shit myself, I tell you. But then I realized I'd unwittingly created a miracle. Explosive black powder.
What is it? So it burns?
More than that, it makes a big bang.
A very big bang. But don't worry, we're all in on it now.
I couldn't continue my experiments on my own, but Bonnie and Zinnig did a few little jobs for me.
So he initiated us.
But we just still didn't know how to do it right and not blow ourselves up in the process.
And we used up a huge amount of salt.
By the way, the manuscript from that Hermes Trismegistos was our shopping list and price list for material from Gutenberg.
Only we didn't know correct proportions. I looked up a few of my former fellow students and brought it up with them. And we found out that before us, some monk had already made the discovery.
Some fella called Black Bertold. And that he even started writing a book called
Feuerwerkbuch.
We couldn't believe our luck when we found out there's a copy of it right here at Trotsky.
And you know the rest.
It's a discovery that will change history. In the right hands, it can make miracles happen. All it takes is a spark, and a storm of fire will sweep away the old world order. It will wipe out stupidity and ignorance, once and for all.
And what will happen now?
As I said, we're about to have our last supper on our journey to satisfy our hunger for knowledge. A feast of smoke and fire. Black Bertold never finished his book. because he never had enough ingredients for his last great experiment. But now, thanks to you, we do. We can finally finish Berthold's work and finish his book. We'll see with our own eyes what a barrel of black powder can do. I hope you're as excited as I am.
I've heard enough. Now I want to see that with my own eyes.
Let's do it then. Bonnie, is everything ready?
Indeed, it is. We can get started. Long live the beautiful new world.
Looks like it ain't working.
I'd say it works just fine.
This will change history.
What? I can't hear a thing. But I'd say it works just fine.
As long as you listen to me.
No splinters.